Hi guys, this is JSNO.com and I'm here with the unboxing of the Redmi Note 14 Pro 5G, finally available in Europe. So, it's the first time I'm seeing a mid-ranger from Xiaomi getting AI technology. And also it has a pretty solid 200 megapixel camera, of course, with AI. And just like other companies, they're bringing eye care to the mid-range segment. Eye care means it's protecting your eyes, your sleep, your circadian rhythm, and whatnot. The design itself is rather elegant, or at least it appears so at first sight in the black version. At least the camera module doesn't seem to mimic or copy any other camera design I've seen. The phone is IP68 certified. It also has a fast charging. It has Gemini, Circle to Search, and the goodness of the Google AI. So let's see what's inside the box. Since we're in the European Union, the EU has imposed phone makers not to bundle chargers anymore. Yes, I actually asked around a bunch of representatives from phone makers, and the EU actually forces them not to bundle chargers. I have a key here to access the slots. We don't have a micro SD, we only have nano SIM. We have this case here, which is quite pleasant to the touch and grippy. We have a cable from USB-C to USB-A. And of course, we also have some instructions, manuals, and technological thingies to learn about. Speaking of which, we can also learn more about the SAR value from these documents. If you want to know about the SAR value, it's basically the level of radiation emitted by the phone. So for example, for your head is 0.994 watts per kilogram, and for your body 0.992 watts per kilogram. That's the SAR value. Okay, we're done with the box. Once again, no charger, just the case, the manual, and the key, and the cable. As far as the design is concerned, as you can see, we have a screen with pretty narrow bezels, slightly curved on the sides, not as much as a Motorola Edge, but still pretty curved. The backside is curved as well, and the camera module doesn't protrude very much. It comes with IP68 certification, which means dust and waterproofing, of course, and aside from the black version, it's sold in purple and green. Measures 8.4 millimeters in thickness and weighs 190 grams. We got glass at the front, which is gently curved and I would say pretty narrow bezels, especially compared to a Galaxy A, that's for sure. And at the back side, we have various versions. It can be plastic, it can be a silicone polymer, or as they say, eco leather. It's a pretty comfy phone to wield on account of the skinny frame, which lets you grip it properly and press the keys here in a comfy manner, I would say. Now, aside from that, the fact that the case is matte black at the back side means that there are fewer prints. Together, it feels like a cleaner approach. We also have Gorilla Glass Victus 2 at the front, which used to be a staple for flagships, and now it appears on mid-rangers as well. The frame is plastic, by the way, just so you know. The phone is pretty narrow, so one-hand usage is pretty nifty. Now, as far as the screen is concerned, this one is a 6.67-inch AMOLED. Resolution is 2712 over 1220 pixels, 120 Hz refresh rate, up to 3000 nits of brightness. It's got HDR10+, it has 12-bit color depth, Dolby Vision, and 1920 Hz PWM dimming. Basically, all that annoying flicker of the screen may bother your eyes. It's happening in the background and you can combat it with a bunch of special settings. There's also a circadian friendly certification, so the colors will be warmer towards the time of going to bed, so it will not affect your sleep and your secretion of melatonin. Now, let's learn more about the phone in the About section. Okay, I see there's an update here, another update, so I just updated it recently and now it wants another update. Anyway, it's got a CPU that's the MediaTek Dimensity 7300 Ultra. It's a 4nm octa-core chip with a GPU that's Mali G615MC2. If this CPU sounds familiar, versions of it, the Dimensity 7300, were seen on the likes of the Motorola H50 Neo, Oppo Reno 12, Poco X7, Realme 13 Plus, so quite a few of them. We have 8 gigs of RAM. You can supplement it with a special RAM expansion feature, LPDDR4X. There's also UFS 2.2 storage, which in this case is 256 gigabytes. There are versions out there with 12 gigs of RAM, as well as 512 gigabytes of storage. Okay, we've talked about the innards of the phone. We should also probably discuss the battery. 5110 mAh, 45 watts charging, sadly no charger in the box. If you want to talk about the fun stuff, we have stereo speakers, so one's at the bottom and probably the holes here indicate one at the top. Have the infrared emitter here, which is nice to control your TV set, and as shown by the symbol here, an in-display fingerprint scanner, but I also opted for face unlock. On the connectivity side of things, you're getting Bluetooth 5.4. There's also 5G connectivity, obviously, dual SIM, NFC, USB-C 2.0, and GPS dual band. Now, as far as the cameras are concerned, in this small punch hole here, we have a 20 megapixel selfie shooter with f2.2 aperture, while at the back side, there are things happening. First of all, this is a triple camera with the promise of AI. The main sensor is a 200 megapixel one. It's a Samsung ISOCELL HP3, which was also present on the predecessor Redmi Note 13 Pro, and it has optical image stabilization, f1.65 aperture, which means it captures a lot of light, combines 16 pixels in one for pixel binding. It has a 7p lens. Then we have an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera and a 2 megapixel macro camera with f2.2 aperture. We have a quite generous selection of options for the camera here, and seeing how we do not have telephoto camera, we can use the main camera with a source of in-sensor zoom. We have 2x and 4x zoom levels from the main camera by cropping parts of the image. So, special camera options: slow motion, long exposure, panorama, time-lapse, pro, dual video. Of course, we also have a night mode here with a bunch of extras, small ones. This is the portrait area. You also have a bunch of filters if you want to. And you can also apparently select to take group portraits or various focal lengths of portraits. This is the regular photo area with AI, with watermark, with macro, tilt shift and motion tracking focus. While in the video segment, you're going to shoot up to 4K 30 frames per second. And by the way, the front camera only does Full HD video, so that's it, no 4K. We have a special steady video stabilization only in Full HD for the main camera. Motion tracking focus, and you can take full 200 megapixel shots with a lot of detail. And finally, you can capture documents, so if you're a student, it can be useful to save your classes. Okay, so that's about it camera-wise. I'm pretty impressed by the whole promise of the zoom. So let's see. These are the levels that were promised. So this is 2x, it's pretty crisp. This is 4x, also crisp, by cropping from the 200 megapixel camera. Okay, so the software here, it's actually HyperOS 1.0.4, probably going to jump to another smaller iteration. There's no Android 15 and HyperOS 2 for now. We should get about 3 years of updates here, 3 years of Android updates. We don't have an audio jack. The predecessor had one, keep that in mind. And the same sensor here, the same 200 megapixel camera was present on the Honor 90 and Redmi Note 13 Pro 5G. ISOCELL HP3 from Samsung. Now, the software experience, I would say, hasn't changed very much from the times of MIUI, but I do like the new widgets, so those ones. Finally, they're good looking. I never liked the ones from MIUI, but I definitely like these ones. They're cleaner, a bit more Apple-like. This section is pretty much similar to what we had on MIUI. And here we have security options, connectivity options, wallpaper and personalization with quite a few features. Safety and emergency, fingerprints, face data, and more, and quite a few pre-installed applications. These are the system apps. You have recorder, scanner, compass, and more. In case you're wondering where are the AI features, those will be coming with an update starting with January 31st. So yeah, if you keep pressed here, you're going to get Gemini, and you can ask it to write poetry, generate photos, write an essay, correct source code, and other things like that. Now, the actual AI features which you're going to get are AI Beautify, AI Image Expander, AI Erase Pro, and some AI productivity features. You should also get Circle to Search, which I look forward to seeing on this handset, since it's a mid-range one. Okay, so that's about it. It's a €300 smartphone, Redmi Note 14 Pro 5G. I have high expectations from its main camera, which has already been tried and tested on other devices, and some expectations from its AI features on a budget. It's pretty good looking and should handle games like a champ, seeing how the CPU did it on other phones. That's it from gsno.com. Goodbye.